now. Let's be humming. Let's be humming now. Nice job, D. That's why you play run defense right there.
He brought it every day, and it was about teaching, making sure from a defensive standpoint, we understood the why behind everything that we did.
When I think of Ring of Honor, the best, representation of your franchise, they got to be legendary people, and a lot of legends from our Tampa 2 defense are up there. It goes without saying that the architect of that, or at least the guy that was calling the plays every single Sunday, deserves to be up there. And you can't talk about our defense without starting with talking Monte Kiffin.
His personality was just so outgoing, and he just fired the players up. And I got something from him that way, because I'm not an emotional type of guy. I was more the intellectual coach, but he coached energy, and he coached effort and enthusiasm, and it worked for us.
That defense that Monte coordinated was the best unit that had ever played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Monte was the coordinator of it. He became part of the fabric of the Tampa community. He was so beloved. You know, Monte was a special coach. He was a special friend, and he richly deserves to be in the Buccaneer Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you can say Brooks and Lynch and Sapp and myself and Brian Kelly and Simeon Rice. All the names are there, but none of that was really possible without Monte.
He was a ball coach, and he put his heart, soul, and everything into this thing. And I'm glad we can call him a champion and now a Ring of Honor member.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. In February of last year, at Monte's surprise 80th birthday party, I was thrilled to announce that Monte would be the 14th member inducted into the Buccaneer Ring of Honor. Unfortunately, the pandemic forced us to put a lot of those plans on hold in the 2020 season, and that brings us to today. We're excited to bring Monte back onto the field in front of a full house at Raymond James Stadium and induct him into our Ring of Honor on September 19th at the game against the Atlanta Falcons. The longer wait to celebrate Monte's franchise record 13 seasons as defensive coordinator will make the event even more special for all of us who love Monte. Throughout Buccaneer history, and particularly in the early years, it had been the defense that has played the biggest role in this team. When Monte arrived here in 1996 as Tony Dungy's defensive coordinator, he inherited a unit that, despite already having a few key players, was still playing average at best. Monte worked with Tony to create a defense that would utilize the individual strengths of the Buccaneers' rising young stars. What they came up with was the Tampa 2, and it became the signature defense of the late 1990s and the 2000s. Under Monte's leadership, those rising young stars, namely Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Rondé Barber, became the cornerstones of one of the most feared and dominant defenses of their era. And so far, 3 of them are in the Hall of Fame. And I believe before long, Rondé Barber will join that group as well. Monte's accomplishments are long and distinguished. While he was here, the Buccaneers allowed the least points and yards in the league, and they were second in the league in takeaways. There was an incredible streak of 50 consecutive games with at least 1 sack and 1 takeaway. And during our Super Bowl 37 victory, the defense set records with 5 interceptions, and a remarkable 3 of them were returned for touchdowns. Following that championship season, Monte was recognized as Assistant Coach of the Year by both Football Digest and the Pro Football Writers Association. Spend just a few minutes with Monte, and it becomes quickly apparent that the amount of passion and love he has for the game of football. As great as he was at coaching the game, he was even better at getting the best out of his players. 8 different players earned a combined 36 Pro Bowl selections during his tenure. Monte, you're a true original, and our entire family looks forward to celebrating your remarkable career with Robin and your entire Buccaneer family at Raymond James Stadium this fall. Monte, come on up.
Wow. Woo. I know one thing. I walk a little slower because of a bad back. But I'm very fortunate to be here today, to be with you people. My health's good. Got a great wife. I've got 8 grandchildren. And what they call me at Ole Miss, they call me a defensive analyst. I can't spell the word analyst, but I can tell you one thing. I know what the heck we're doing, okay? So anyway, that's it. That's it. But I'm just great honor to be here. The Glazier family have been so great to me. Bless his soul, Malcolm. We go way back to when Tony's in the back of the bus, at the back of the plane on the trips home, and I go up and talk to Malcolm. And we just talk about how he made his money in the clock business. And at one time, I know he talked about way back, he said the kids were young. They were big Miami Dolphin fans. And then he stepped up and decided to buy into the Glazier family and make the Buccaneers what they are today. It still goes back to the Glazier family. And if you know me, I'm the kind of guy that kind of says it like it is. I'm not just a brown noser or something like that. But I'm real. I think that's the whole thing with coaching is just be real. And it's about the players, okay? Being a great teacher. Don't just, how do you get your ass in gear? Show them how to do it, okay? Oh, dang it, this is how you pass rush. This is how you drop into coverage. This is how you run everybody. You fake the blitz. You come out and take it to the house, put us in the Super Bowl, whatever. So it's about the players. And so anyway, I'll open up for questions and answers and be fire away. Do whatever you want. That's good, okay?
Please raise your hand when the microphone will be extended.
Hey, Monty, over here. Rick Stroud, Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, Rick. Okay, I see you.
How you doing?
Good, good.
It's a great honor and congratulations. I'm just wondering for you, you had so many great moments with that defense, you know, in so many big games and, of course, the Super Bowl. For you, what was sort of the pinnacle of your career that you spent here in Tampa?
Well, there were quite a few. I think first of all, of course, to get to the Super Bowl, but to get to the Super Bowl, we had to go to Philadelphia. It was cold, and we were going out with John Gruden the night before the game. We walked around, got used to the weather, so it was nippy that day in Philadelphia. And so we went out and got used to it and this and that, and walked back in, and so we got used to the conditions of that day when we played. Then we went out on the field, and oh my gosh, it is just unbelievable. I look out there right now and see Jimmy Giles. Oh my gosh, I can remember Jimmy Giles. I was just a youngster coming up through the Bucs, whatever. So, but it was the biggest thing is just the memories of. We always talked about playing hard, playing fast, and play together. Now let me tell you something. It doesn't take talent to play hard, okay? It's right here in the heart. Play together as a team, okay? Play together as a team. Play hard and play fast. That ball snaps, you got to go. You got to pass rush. You got to cover. Play hard, play fast, and play together. It's all about playing together as a team. If you can't play together as a team, you don't belong with this defense, okay? And that's just my philosophy. It's still my philosophy. It'll never change. Okay. That's it. Fire away.
Hey, Monty, J.P. Peterson right here. Take us back to the Super Bowl, getting ready for that game, the number one offense against the number one defense. And then that whole day as it unfolds, as you watch your defense with 5 picks, the pick sixes, I mean, in the ultimate game, what are your memories of that day and that performance?
Well, I remember prior to the game, John Gruden having been to the Raiders and Rich Gannon be the quarterback and coaching him in. John Gruden played quarterback. The day before the game, we had a realistic practice, and John got up and he said, "Blue 22, blue 22, 380, check hut, set hut." And he played like Rich Gannon. And gosh, our players are like, this is the day before the game. And then we went to the meeting that night, and we continued the meeting that night. And it was just so, we took the field that day. I remember sitting in the locker room, and golly, the players were like, John hadn't talked to you yet. He's going to come out and talk to you. They're like, they couldn't wait to get on the field. I mean, we were ready that day, I'll tell you that right now. But it was just a great thrill. And we went out there and we had all lit up the scoreboard and stuff like that. And I can remember that they shifted and the backs. And Shelton Quarles and Mike Backer, he said, check Toledo, check Toledo. Well, nobody knew Toledo was, and we knew it. Toledo meant play cover 2. Check Toledo, check Toledo. And that's where we had 3 interceptions and 6 sacks that day or whatever. And it was memory I'll never forget, and I don't think we forgot it here in Tampa. All right, keep going.
Hey, Monty. Greg Allman with The Athletic. What defenses can kind of come and go sometimes in terms of schemes, but the Tampa 2, so many teams picked it up and either lifted it entirely or borrowed from it. Why do you think that scheme worked so well here and in other places in the NFL?
Well, I think it worked, but you still got to know how to play it. And I don't think everybody exactly knew how to play it because there's so many moving parts to it. So we had to fit the whole thing in. But a lot of people did try to copy it. Some people played it well, and I don't think some people play it quite that well. But it's and there's also, it goes into how smart your players are, and our players were football smart, and they could just relate to it, you know. And I think that's why it became famous. But a lot of people still try to play Tampa too, but they don't know what the heck they're doing.
Hey, Monty. J.C. Allen here with Peter Report. I just wanted to ask you, bring it back. You said it's about the players and, you know, being a great teacher. Are there any specific teaching moments that you remember from your career that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I can remember going against John Gruden in practice every day. And John Gruden's checking blue 22, blue 22. And we're checking Toledo, checking Toledo. And Gruden, what are you stealing our signals? I said, no, we can hear you. You're right on the same field we are. But anyway, so we got really good at it. We had smart players, now we really did. They were not just smart, they were smart, period, but especially when it came to Tampa too.
Monty, I'm just wondering, you know, there's a lot of great names up there. Most of the guys that you coach, we've talked about, they're in the Ring of Honor already, Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks and Ronde Barber. What will it mean to you? You know, you have 2 head coaches up there, and John McKay, or 3, and John Gruden and Tony Dungy. You're the first assistant coach. You've been assistant coach of the year before, but what honor is that to join those men in that ring and look up that stadium, you know, forever to see Monte Kiffin's name up there?
Well, wow. I know this is just a press conference. We haven't had the real deal, but
yeah,
it's just kind of about bringing a tear to your eye, but I'm not going to do that. It's really emotional.
Yeah.
But it's going to be pretty special now. It really is. And it's all about the fans now. I talk about the players and this and that. How about the fans in this place? They can get you to rocking now. They would get me excited. Sometimes I'd walk out for warm-ups, you know, and I'd go out and watch the other team warm up and stuff like that. And I could, they'd be fired up right then. Gee, it's a great sports town. That's quite evident right now. Yeah. I watched the hockey thing, and I was actually at a hockey game in the first hockey time they won the title. I was sitting there, guy gave me a good seat, and I sat right next to the goaltender for the Bucs. So I saw it up close in person. I just saw it on TV this time, but whatever. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, Monty, just to kind of piggyback off Rick, you know, you look at the players in there with Brooks and Sapp, Ronde and Lynch. Another guy who I think is deserving is Simeon Rice, and it seems like he's kind of underrated, doesn't get a lot of credit. Can you just talk about him as a player and what it was like to coach him?
Yeah, Simeon's a great guy. I'll never forget how we got Simeon Rice. You probably don't know the story, but Tony does. He was a free agent, came out of Arizona Cardinals, and he was on his way to New York Giants. And the defensive line coach of the New York Giants came from University of Illinois, where he went to college. And this all goes back to recruiting. But Tony set us up at the hotel right on the bay there. We went up to the upstairs. We looked out and saw the beautiful sunset, I guess, type deal. And he's going to leave at 2 o'clock on the flight the next day. And we said, Rod Marinell was the defensive line coach. He said, now, we showed you this beautiful view of Tampa and this and that in the bay, but it's going to be real tomorrow morning. You're going to meet with myself and Rod Marinell, and Rod Marinell is going to take you in the room and really tell you what it's like to play here. And they went in and they were in there for an hour and a half. And they came out. By that time, Rich McKay had canceled the flight to Chicago to change planes to go to New York Giants. And Simeon came out and went back and talked to Tony again, and Rod and myself. He said, cancel the flight. I'm staying here. I'm going to be a Buccaneer. And that's really the story about it. I get kind of talk a little bit slower there because I get kind of emotional there. This is kind of emotional day for, they call me Pops.